Hi everyone, my name is Shelda Smith and I'm an associate professor in the College of Education at Georgia Southern University. Today I'll be discussing the topic of what educators, teachers, and students need to know to prepare for online learning in the K-12 setting in response to COVID-19. First, patience. Patience is your most valuable tool in these unprecedented and uncertain times. One way that educators, parents, and teachers can exercise this patience is through the use of netiquette rules. The first rule of netiquette is to remember that there is another human being on the receiving end of your correspondence. This may mean that every correspondence has a subject line, a greeting, and a signature. We must remember to be really kind in our words. There are many resources about netiquette rules available online through an internet search. The commentary that I'll be providing will be divided up amongst the various roles of people who work in the K-12 schools. I'll begin first with teachers. First, this is a lot right now. Steep learning curve. Remember that the goal is to establish routines for a sustainable spring semester that is able to support distance learning that is effective and efficient for students. Pedagogically, this is a great opportunity for independent professional development. You can learn how to use various e-learning management systems, such as Google Classroom or Sakai or Moodle, Folio, whatever it is that your district is endorsing, and maybe one other. It's also a great time to learn about some other online tools, such as Zoom or Google Hangout for whole group meetings. In terms of your content, I think it's important to think about two pots: what must be done and what may be done. What must be done must be grade level work that is aligned with the standard and developmentally appropriate for your students. That work must be supported by you, the instructor. This might mean that you are creating online videos, that you're providing models, that you're available for live tutoring or small group lessons. What may be done is a great opportunity for extended learning. Students who might have accomplished or mastered the standard could move on to some more creative avenues to learn more about the topic. No matter what, it's important that students feel really confident in their ability to accomplish the assigned tasks. This is a time in distance learning where differentiation is often forgotten about. But I want to remind you that differentiation is still possible, especially if we consider how students can approach a standard or element using home resources. For instance, the kitchen is a great place for STEM-based learning. When you think about the daily task of life, such as groceries or balancing a budget, that's excellent for mathematical skills. When you think about the books and resources that students often have in their home, finding out the main idea or listening to a song to understand figurative language is excellent for reinforcing that the home is still a learning environment for them. No matter what, remain flexible with the deadlines. Think more in terms of what must be completed by the end of the week and less what has to be done by the end of the day. With regard to accessibility, equity is an issue here. Creating a learning environment that is exclusively internet dependent might be well intentioned, but it can be exclusionary when we consider that there is a digital divide where many students have limited or no access to the required technology, software, or internet. Many students have to use their parents' cell phone in order to access the internet and classwork. That can make it a really strained learning environment for students. Consider making paper packets available for about 2 weeks at a time that aren't dependent on the internet. If you do, provide a key for correction purposes and be available for tutoring and small group reteaching. Alternatively, consider adopting an instructional workbook that covers the grade level standards across multiple subjects and teaching from there. Those often have the keys in them. In our household, we like both the BrainQuest workbooks and we like Summer Bridge. In terms of housekeeping, as you're figuring out how to use some of these online tools, it's important to consider digital literacy training videos for your students, how to log in, how to access tools. Also, it's important to think of behavioral management as still relevant and important in the online space. Talking to your students about their online presence and their use of netiquette is of the utmost importance. Finally, try to avoid assigning parent-dependent work. Many of your parents are still working full-time jobs while having their children at home. Remember, you were trained as an educator in pedagogical approaches, instructional tools, subject matter content, and material. Many of your parents were not. They were trained to be something else of a profession or something else in their career. So to assume that they're your substitute teacher actually undermines your own training and their area of expertise. Instead, work to develop resources for your students that is developmentally appropriate and make yourself available, especially during the school hours. Now, I'm going to switch over and talk a little bit to parents. Be patient with yourself, with your children, with your teachers and administrators. We're all trying to figure this out. If possible, try to contact your internet provider and see if they're able to expand your access to high-speed internet. With regards to that daily schedule that everyone keeps talking about, I think it's a great time for you to partner with your children in creating that daily schedule and posting it in a place that's visible for everyone. Remember that the schedule, though, should be a guide and is flexible, and that you just want to prioritize a few goals as opposed to making it something really rigid. Factor in physical movement in that schedule for everyone, but especially children. If possible, get some fresh air, but make sure you're practicing social distancing. This is a great opportunity to teach children online literacy. Two last things I want to cover. You want to avoid teaching children concepts that you don't know or understand well. Ask the teacher for help. That is their responsibility in this time. You do, though, want to teach your children things that you do know. Those life skills, those things that allow you to survive and thrive. Cooking, cleaning, balancing a checkbook, writing a letter. I myself am teaching my son how to play spades. It's cultural knowledge that will be to his benefit. I'm going to move over and talk to students. Hi. Right now, things are really different. But you're still in school, Monday through Friday, general hours of 7, 8 to about 3 or 4 p.m. Remember that you are intelligent, you're capable, and you are a scholar. Some tips for you to be successful during this time are: 1, time management. You want to stay focused during your school hours and adjust your schedule based on how long it takes you to complete a task. 2, task management. You want to work towards completion. If it just feels so good to complete something, put it down and know that you gave your best effort. One way to enhance your distance learning experience is to ask questions of your classmates, but especially of your teacher. Be curious about the content that you're learning. Still, don't forget to remind the adults around you that fresh air is important. Okay, physical activity is important. And remember that you're not in this alone. Administrators, just want to say a few things. Consider flexible deadlines with the demands that you're making of your classroom teachers. If possible, distribute hardware such as tablets and laptops where necessary and needed. Be grateful and express that gratitude towards your staff in these difficult times. And finally, as much as possible, try to create a unified message about what is happening. It is overwhelming to receive 10, 12 messages within an hour. Finally, last but not least, assistance. This is a great time to take the initiative. Ask the teachers, can you grade some assignments, tutor individual students, make PowerPoints, record story times, and just call and check in on students' overall well-being and their academic progress. Everyone, you take care of yourself, and we're going to make it to the other side of this. Thank you.